I got my pick. All right, family. We streaming. We seeing how it's gonna work out today. The key frames is moving slow. The black signal is going out. Let's see. I have new titles for today, so I would appreciate it if the family could let me know whether the new title is coming up, because I'm gonna try to change the title on a daily basis. We're gonna open up the phone lines. Phone lines will be opened up. Just call in. As soon as you call in, I will open the phone lines. We can have us a discussion. And of course, complete our toast. As usual, like I said, I've been tired. I was tired yesterday, but we had a warrior training. Actually, it was an all-day affair. The family that was still here brought young people. They started at 9 and stayed there till 6. So basically, warrior training is a full-time job, family. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you got people working 24 hours a day to make sure that you are oppressed. All right, you got 24 hours a day making sure that you are locked in a certain way. You got to spend some time trying to unlock. And yesterday, I got a key sign. My fault. I get signs all the time, but yesterday for me was a milestone. The black signal just went out. So those that don't know, make sure you join us. I'll talk about that in a second. Let's get down with the get down. First off, I want to welcome you to the congregation of the mighty, and it is such a beautiful thing. I want to say this is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Thank you for being ready, girl. Girl, that's what I'm talking about. Yo, this is the Daily Toast, and this is a Heart of a Simple production. Well, we strive to blow up your old paradigm. Come on in, family. I'm giving y'all time to gather. I haven't opened the chat window yet. I'm just going to do the intro. Now, see, that's a real class, right? Drink your water. Come on, drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some more. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Drink. Or should I say, breathe, then drink. Now pop the cap and drink some water. Lift your glass and pour some water. Lift your glass and pour some water. Pour your water. Drink. Or should I say, flip, pour, then drink. Now move your body, drink some water. Ouch! Move your body, drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Move your body. Drink. Or should I say, move, then drink. Now, raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Come on, raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Raise your glass. Drink. Or should I say, raise drink, eat, move. Oh, take your breath. Lift your glass. Move your body. Toast your ancestors. Break down. Drink your water. Drink, 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 drink. Lift your glass. Lift your glass. Lift your glass. Drink your water. Drink your water. Drink your water. Take your breath. Take your breath. Take your breath. Move your body. Move your body. Move your body. Drink, drink, drink. Drink, 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 drink. Let's open up the chat window. Alright, family. We are gathered here today to toast our ancestors and salute the universe, right? Oh. Alright. So yesterday I hit a major milestone, right? I mean, we always doing stuff. But one of the things that for years I've been trying to cultivate now, and I noticed a drop when we moved into the 2000s. I know. Of question asking, right? Whether we talking about adults or whether we talking about young people. And it's one young man in particular. Now y'all know, cause Cleve, Cleve, we got to give Cleve a round of applause, right? We got to give, cause Cleve was born for it. Cleve was born into it, right? You know what I'm saying? Cleveland got Gye-Nyame brothers that been coming around him his whole life. Gye-Nyame uncles and granddads and shit, and through Simba and through just us. You know what I'm saying? He been in it his whole life, surrounded and immersed in it. You know what I'm saying? He don't know he carried a lot on his shoulder, but hey, he's so laxed about it sometimes. I got to remind him, dog, I named you after the greatest man I knew. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, a lot of people gonna be looking at you for stuff. So hey, you know what I'm saying? You got sisters you gotta look out for. You got a great load on. You know what I'm saying? But this young man, I think we may have hooked up almost 8 years ago. He came through his aunt, Miss Tracy. Man. This brother, we have a PR space at what? What was that, Kwame? Kwame, where you at? Public relations? What is it? Alright, I gotta see what Brother Kwame. Alright. So I'll get the text after the show. But family, what I'm saying is that this brother Tykees, right? Been around for a long time. Won Entrepreneur of the Year. He's doing the gardening stuff with Cleve. And he's showing leadership. And he was one of the first. Now, because we got Gye-Nyame, right? We got those that, in a sense, were born into it, was brought through the process. You know what I'm saying? And I got to introduce the extended family to everybody. So I think we're gonna have to throw together a Gye-Nyame dinner or something, or a Gye-Nyame luncheon or something, where I could get some of the other people to come and let people know, introduce themselves as fam, right? Well, actually, we kind of had that at the last camping trip, because we had some brothers come back and assist with the camping trip, and it was it was nice, because it was good for the young men and the young ladies to see that that this is bigger than them. But anyway, so we sitting and we're watching a great and mighty walk the documentary put together by Wesley Snipes about the great historian, now ancestor, John Henry Clark. And John Henry Clark, so we're watching, I'm telling him, I said, I need questions or comments. And I'm so used to saying that, and then we get into it, and then I have to discuss it, and then there's no questions. And I think this is part of the process that that they're taking our people through. You know what I'm saying? All people. See, because your intelligence is not necessarily measured by the answers that you give, but more by the questions that you ask. This whole project that I'm working on, far as the Daily Toast, far as Gye-Nyame Journey, is a question that I'm asking the universe. All this is a result of a question. The books that I write are questions to the universe. It's not answers. They're questions. You know what I'm saying? I don't teach my kids necessarily answers. I teach them questions, right? Because I'm trying to prime the mind so that you already know how that. What is a warrior? What does a warrior do? Boom, boom, boom. Questions, questions, questions. You boom. You know that you learn the answers, but the key piece to the questioning piece is trying to force individuals to have to ask questions. Get to a point where you could ask questions, right? So we're sitting, and I give everybody a break, and before I turn on the video, I say, are there any questions or comments? So Tykees looked down at his notes, and I was like, damn, because when I seen him, he was laying down. He sat up, he looked at his notes, and he said, well, brother, John Henry Clark says that he was raised poor, but he was culturally rich. But then later on, he said that African people were the only people where our culture was totally stripped from us. How could he be raised culturally rich, but our culture have been stripped from us? I had to lay down on the floor. I said, oh my God. Oh my God. See, that's some thinking shit there, right? That, you know what I'm saying? It took that question alone not only perked up the adults in the room, but it perked up the young people because of the reaction and the look on my face when he asked the goddamn question. And it got so, for a second, it got so bad that he thought he did something wrong, right? And I'm like, nah, dog, nah. See, this is what I'm talking about. These are the questions that I'm talking about, right? Somebody on the Uber conference. Hold on, family. Don't be just intruding on my diatribe. Somebody trying to get on, but we gonna let you on before we do this toast. All right, let's see. Hold on. Check 1, check 2. Okay, we're about to ring it up. The lines are now officially open. Someone is waiting.
This call is being recorded.
This is Gye-Nyame Journey, and you have joined the Congregation of the Mighty. Who is this?
Quasi.
What's up, brother Quasi? What's going on, my man?
Not too much. Sitting here sipping this tea.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get you some ambrosia soon. I gotta go.
Okay.
I gotta go and get this batch together. But I was just going through and talking about the meeting we had yesterday. So, and what another piece about this young man was that he didn't have to be there for the morning session because he is officially. Go ahead.
You talking about the dude that asked that question that it took him like 3 elders to answer?
Hell yeah.
What was the question?
The question was, we watching a Great and Mighty Walk by John Henry Clark. And the question was, because at the beginning of the movie, John Henry Clark make this statement. He says, we grew up monetarily poor, but I grew up in a culturally rich environment. Then later on, right before we took our break, he made this statement, African people were the only people where our culture was totally destroyed and taken away from us. So the boy's question was, how could those two things exist at the same time? How could he grow up culturally rich, but yet admit that our culture was taken away from us through the process of the slavery process. I said, oh shit, this is some thinking. This type of shit, this is where I'm trying to get our kids to, and get not only our young people, but getting our adults to a point to where we can ask questions, man. Oh my God. Blue, and it's like, because first off, me and Kwame, because I threw out the term contradiction. And I said, I hear you. You asked about contradiction. And Kwame said, no. He's not talking about a contradiction. He's talking about a paradox. So we started that whole discussion. Now, see, because what a lot of people don't understand, when you throw questions out, this is why, like I said in Gye-Nyame, we talk about questions. When you throw questions out, you not only affect the person you asking the question to, but you affect everybody in the room. Because at that point in time, all the young people stopped. Stopped the side conversation, stopped all the shit because he asked a question. I literally fell on the floor because I was like, oh shit. Oh, did he just ask? That's a good ass question, right? And so me and Kwame, because Kwame hit it, boom, no, dog, that's not a contradiction. That's a paradox. So now, not only do we have to answer the question, so now then Kwame has to be brought to task and be like, yo, bro, what's the difference between a contradiction and a paradox? You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting up here like, oh shit, this is a great comment. And it just started a whole conversation. So now we missing 15 to 30 minutes of the movie because somebody asked a powerful question, a mind-moving question. And we don't get enough of those. We get plenty of answers, but we don't get people asking the questions, right? And I think that's one of the problems because everybody is looking for answers, nobody's looking for the questions. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to be the person that asks the question because we assume that only or at least what we're taught, the way we're taught and the way it looks to me, that when you ask questions, you're showing that you're ignorant. You're showing that you really don't know. When in fact, school should be designed around being able to ask questions. A lot of our events should be geared around, after we take care of the basic stuff, should be geared around asking questions. But what I have noticed, like I said, since the 2000s, is that there has been a drought of questions in our community. A drought of questions, period. You know what I'm saying? Everybody act like they know. I'm not going to ask that question. People might look at me as a dummy. And I'm like, yo, hell no. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was just listening for real. Maybe we should stop having question and answer sections and have question and thought sections.
Question and who? Question and thought sections?
Question and thought, or maybe question and reflection.
Question and reflection sessions. Yeah, because because I'm sitting up here like, good grief. You know, and like I said, it's like little things like that just sparking me. Like, boom, I got to keep going now. Because now we got young thinkers coming out. You know what I'm saying? So because when you look at a lot of the information that a lot of us go on, we're going on a lot of old information. You know what I'm saying? We're not sending people to Africa. We're not sending people to Egypt. We're not sending people to steal information from some of these universities. We're not giving people missions anymore. You know what I'm saying? After I linked up with the African Center, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of a mission for me to finish college, not just so I could have a paper, but so that I could go and get some of the methods so that I would be able to carry on what the brothers were doing at the African Center. That was required of me. Whenever I thought about dropping out, you know what I'm saying, I had to eventually run into one of them. And they would know, and they would, as Norma would call it, read me the riot act. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you going up there and you do your thing and get, you know what I'm saying, do your thing, get the information. You You know what I'm saying? What are the methods? What are the new methods coming out in teaching now? What, you know what I'm saying? What don't we know? You know, so, but go ahead, bro. You got anything else you want to share before I get into this libation?
Go ahead.
Uh-oh. But we got two.
I just wanted to say, I did want to share that, since you just mentioned that, I ain't going to say the only reason, but coming to New Harvest, really, and me and you and Kojo and a lot of other elders, young elders at the time, you know what I mean? The ones that pushed me. I don't know if I didn't have nothing at that point. I finished at Columbus State and got my associates and then went on to Ohio State. Met people at Ohio State through being there. Like, when I first started coming to New Harvest, I had went to Columbus State for about a year and then quit for about a year. Once I got there, I hadn't been taking classes for about a year, and I wasn't really thinking about even going back at that time.
And you came around us, you know. But then, like I said, and it's like, yo, man, it's when you really look at what we have been doing, man. We've been doing some good work. We could have did better. But shit, we've been producing some quality work. You know what I'm saying? In all our fields. We got two new callers. We got Brother Shaka. We got one from a 216. I'm gonna start with 216. Who is from 216? Or both of them Shaka?
No, only one of me.
All right, who the other person from 216?
What?
Who is this? Welcome to the show. Huh?
Iola.
How you doing, Miss Iola?
I'm doing. Did you get my text?
Which one?
I sent you a text. I told you I lost 2 people the end of September.
No, ma'am. Hold on.
My dad and my grandmother passed away. I sent you the names and everything.
Is this Miss Hines?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Give me the names real quick.
Wilson Headley.
Wilton Hadley.
Wilson. Yeah.
Hadley. Headly.
Ley.
Ley.
Yeah.
Wait, one more time. Head. Ley. I got Wilson Hadley, and what's the other one?
Elma. Elma.
Elma.
Yeah, Elma. Elma. Hines.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Yeah, she buried on Friday, my grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they are now on the list. Also, because matter of fact, I added them to your space because I try to keep a little space for everybody on that's in
Thank
here.
you.
And thank you for your support. You have any comments about the discussion we're having now?
I was just listening in. I'm trying to grasp what you guys were talking about. I haven't really. I'd have to get a little summary of what you were referring to.
So and I'm assuming Shaka, you probably need the same information too, right?
No, I was listening in.
Okay. So what I'm talking about is one of the things that inspired me yesterday. We do our warrior meetings bi-weekly. And one of the things I noticed since the year 2000 is a reduction in questions. Prior to 2000, when I would get up and I would talk, it would be questions. And the questions would be the driver of the discussion rather than the material. So it would be like you would come in with a plan, and then prior to 2000, you would start, and then questions would come. And once you let the questions in, the whole piece would be tailored towards that group that you were going towards. But I noticed after year 2000 that the questions started dropping off. I don't receive questions that much anymore. So yesterday, a young man asked a profound question, And I was just basically saluting him. And I guess the show is more about the importance of training ourselves and our young people on asking questions. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we think that the smartest person in the room is the one that has the answers. But I believe that oftentimes the smartest person in the room is the one with the best questions.
Okay.
But go ahead, Brother Saki, you got something you want to say?
Yeah. You know, just yesterday, I found myself in the role of that young person. By presenting information and then sitting back and listening to how people describe the information that I presented, right?
Mm-hmm.
And learning a totally different perspective of something that I thought was just that I only took face value, and in the information that I had shared. And I've been doing this since I haven't, done any post-production on the interview, but the Joe from Brooklyn interview, not interview, but, on my show, Joe from Brooklyn calls himself a race realist, when in all actuality, he's perceived as a racist. And some of the words that he was using in the interview, as I let other nationalists from Chicago listen in on a conversation, one of the sisters, she said, I have no problem with race realist, but Joe from Brooklyn is not a race realist. He is misinformed and he is a racist. He is using the racist language. She said that how does she say it? She said the dialogue might change, but the language doesn't. And so it opened up an opportunity for me to understand something about the conversation that I was part of that I didn't put into perspective before. Remember how Joe from Brooklyn, he's, at the end of the conversation, I said, well, you can achieve your ideal without hating or hurting anyone. He said, well, I haven't said to hurt anyone and I don't hate anyone. But realistically, Joe from Brooklyn in that conversation said that, when these, and he describes them as wiggers. He said, when these wiggers come to your basketball courts and come into your culture of hip hop, he said, embarrass them, take them out, let them know that they're, that they're culture vultures and disembowel them and get them out of your culture. Well, she said, well, that's racist. That's not a race realist conversation. She said, because a racist that would lynch a black person, the only white person that they would lynch in that manner is a nigger lover. And then it made sense to me because I'm all throughout the conversation and all the times I'm listening to it, I'm like, why would he say that about white people? It almost justified, in my mind, the idea that he was a race realist because he wasn't saying hurt black people. And in fact, he said the contrary, that I don't want you guys to do bad because when you do bad, I do bad because when, when your bullet flies, it's my cousin that gets hit. Right? Mm-hmm. And so it took for her to be able to code that how a racist would use the word wigger as nigger lover. And so it just really took put a whole different spew on that conversation. But I don't know. I see, because I introduced the information and it came back to me in that way, it brought me more enlightenment than what I experienced in the first place. And I think that a lot of us, how many times have you been in a conversation and the information is going over your head and, initially you hadn't you hadn't received it for what it was because it was a different language.
Yeah, I'm often. I mean, it's, up to this day. And like I said, in those cases, that's when I become a problem because I have to stop motherfuckers and be like, yo, can you break that down for me? Like, cause, one of the things that went in the conversation we had, when the young man asked the question that he had asked, I said, so you feel that it's a contradiction? And Kwame stopped me and said, no, bruh, it's not a contradiction, it's a paradox. So at that point in time, I'm like, yo, you got to explain that to me. After we got done with that conversation, we went into another conversation so that Kwame can identify the differences, not just for the kids, but for me, because what is the difference between a paradox and a contradiction? You know what I'm saying? And he broke that shit down for us.
Mm-hmm.
Made it, you know what I'm saying? But the only way I would have learned that is I could have acted like I understood what he meant. Okay, bro, I hear you. Okay. But, nah, I'm not on that. I'm not trying to model that for my kids. You don't know something? Ask the goddamn question. Stop the presses. Ask the question. You understand what I'm saying? Because the piece is, I mean, because even, I mean, I guess coming through what we came through, but then it don't explain all the questions that we was asking prior to. Because I guess, I don't know what happened, but at some point in time, questions start. It's hard. I'm hard pressed to get kids to ask questions. I'm hard pressed to get adults to ask questions. I'll say some stuff just crazy enough just so I can get somebody to ask a question. And you know what? You don't ask no questions. I know you don't understand. I know you don't. But that's cool. All right, let's keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that maybe it's my view of the world. Maybe I'm seeing things wrong. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm looking for those young people that's willing to ask questions. Oh man, I ain't been on my restream. Let's see. Somebody got God King Darrell. What's up, dude? But somebody anybody else? Any other comments on this before we hit this toast?
I just say that I think it's important, what you're saying, because you're right. A lot of the times we don't know what is being said, or we don't understand it. And I like to ask questions just because I know how my brain works. And I think differently, so I want to understand what you're saying from your perspective.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's important to, know for yourself what the other person is saying. And I do believe that it is important to ask questions about, especially when you're engaging in community discussion.
Right.
Because, and I think somebody was saying this yesterday, we grow that way. We grow from each other. We grow from conversation with each other. We grow from sharing with each other, our different experiences, and even the material that we have. We grow from sharing what we know. And, that's how it was before. It wasn't about, I got, so I'm going to keep it to myself, because then there's no growth happening, and that's something that we need to work on.
And especially like, for example, because like with Gye-Nyame, like I said, using a multi-pronged strategy, if we're going to have to deal with politics, if we're going to have to deal with economics, if we're going to have to deal with other people's, we have to be able to stop. Hold on. I don't, you know what I'm saying? For example, we got these issues as far as voting, and I'm seeing people like trying to make people feel bad because they have questions about the issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will be dumb if you don't vote for issue 1. It's some shit like that. I'm like, what? Now you making me now you bringing the crazy out of me right now. I'm about to turn into a real asshole right now. It's really take you to task and really find out what this shit is about. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like it's used in our community to keep us from asking questions. Good servants don't ask questions. They just get shit done. This is why one of the things I tell my young people, I said, this is why we call it warrior training and not soldier training. You don't just follow orders blindly. You never do that. I don't care who's giving. I don't care, Brother Hatim. I don't care, Jesus. You don't follow blind. You don't follow orders blindly. You need to be, well, hold on. You said kill everybody? You know what I mean? I mean, like, you got the axe, you got the, you know, well, what about if a cat ran across my mouth? You know,
Right.
You have to be able to ask questions and be confident in asking the question. And you know, it was I don't know whether I dreamed this because I don't remember watching the show yesterday. It is better. Oh, it was on John Henry Clark. He said his teacher pulled him to the side and she said, you need to stop acting the fool. Because it is better to be right and go to hell rather than to be wrong and go to heaven with a bunch of fools. You know what I'm saying? Or something along those lines. Being able to ask the question, because oftentimes when you start asking questions, you, in a sense, for a lot of people in the way we think, you isolate yourself. You know what I'm saying? But or at least you feel that. But what happens is when you ask a question, you give other people permission to either answer questions or to think. Because we just supposed to follow scripts now. I mean, that's why they call TV. Everything is programming now. You know what I'm saying? And with a program, you as a machine are just supposed to follow the program. But what we have to understand, we are not machines and we don't follow programs. So any other comments? Any other things we want to discuss before we get into this toast? Because haircut day for me and Cleve. I got to get some more jugs. I got to make this tea. We about to do this ambrosia family. So if anybody want to comment on the question of yesterday. The question for yesterday was, why do you toast? Or pour libations or whatever. Why do you toast? Why do you participate with the toast? Is everybody gone? Hello? Check one.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
All right. So anybody want to comment on the question, why do you toast? Because I wanted to make this like a week. I just jumped into the question piece because when a young man asked the question, I was so thrilled. I was just thrilled. You know what I'm saying? But the question that's on the floor as well is, why do you toast? And I won't go back into the long story of what brought that around, but you know. All right. So we're going to the toast real quick. If y'all think of anything while I'm doing the toast, we gonna keep on conversation. So I'm gonna pull out my last little bit of ambrosia.
Hey, you know, speaking of which, Hatim?
Go ahead.
3 weeks ago, I told you that I had these 2 gallons of this blood red tea that I mixed those roots in and all of that, and it didn't ferment.
Mm-hmm.
And then you told me, you was like, man, it's going to ferment sooner or later. Something in there going to eat that honey. Man, I turned the cap on it yesterday, and I heard that. And I looked at it for a minute, and Pharaoh looked at it. He said, that's beautiful.
Hey, man, ain't nothing like it when you be creating your stuff, man. Did you taste it? What it tastes like?
Hey, man, Pharaoh looked at it, and it looked tasty. And this is the first time since the beginning that he was like, let me taste that. I was like, all right. So I let him taste it. He was like, delicious. I was like, for real? And he was the first to taste it because at first I was reluctant. But I poured the glass already, and he had asked, so I didn't want to be like, let me taste it first. He tasted it, and he was like, delicious. He said, it tastes like pop. I was like, give me that. Man, here we go, Hatem. It took 3 weeks or 4 weeks. This stuff right here, it is great. It does taste like, he said it tastes like a strawberry pop.
Mm-hmm.
And, for me, I'm looking for the taste of that rouge. I'm looking for the taste of the sorrel, the hibiscus. It's all in there, man. It tastes like sorrel.
And sometimes, like I said, now with the green tea, the fermenting period is 3 to 5 days. You can actually let it sit longer, but long as you introduce the SCOBY in there, and when you take the SCOBY out, right, you know that you introduced those elements in there. Now, one of the things that may have been slowing it down once again is the herbal, the medicinal properties of some of the herbs that you had in there. You know what I'm saying? You mixed a whole bunch of medicinal herbs up in there. So now that thing not only got to transfer and eat that honey and get that caffeine, but it got other things that it might be battling against as well. You know what I'm saying? So you got
and make no mistake about it. I know it. Yeah, I know exactly what I did that killed my scobies, man. And this is what it is that sometimes we underestimate the power of what they say these things do. Or sometimes we're not even putting in a context like what they say they do. But that one thing that I was really, really excited about, the Polynerum multiflorum.
Oh yeah, that killed it. Yeah.
Polygonum multiflorum. Well, it's it says it's anti everything, and I scroll down all the things that it's antibacterial.
Right. So now, what I would suggest is that you develop a SCOBY just for that. So I gave you 2 SCOBY. I gave you actually more than 2. I gave you one older one that's on top. It's smaller. It comes from an older batch. Take a piece of that. Get you a mason jar, right? Get you that poly, that long word you said.
Polygonum.
Right. Make the tea. Put honey in it. Take a piece of that SCOBY and allow that SCOBY to sit up in there, and you build that SCOBY up using that, and you'll develop a whole branch of family of SCOBY that will be able to deal with that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Because I had to do that for my Death Eater, because it got dandelion root and burdock root. Antibacterial, antimicrobial, anti-boom, boom, boom. So rather than just taking the whole thing, no, I built up on it. You got to build up on it and let it go. Now, anything else before we move forward?
Wait, you say you had to do that for the Death Eater?
Oh yeah. I mean, I got a whole thing of I got a whole bucket just for my Death Eater SCOBYs. And the problem is, because I can't find a burdock root, they suffering right now. So I put some leftover tea in them every now and then, but I'm going to have to brew them real soon, or they're going to, they're going to lose their power. They out of practice.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, you got to, when you start brewing like that, and you start using those other types of teas, man, you got to go on and give a SCOBY an assignment. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're going to go on and master this.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that I learned about it, because I shot you a picture of 3 SCOBYs. One of them survived. All right, the one that we knew was out, it was done. The other one that you said, it looked like some other colonies some foreign colonies are developing there. That was the one that is doing what it's doing now. Now, if I would have, remember I said, it's a sweet smell, but it's not moldy. It's a sweet smell, but it's not that ferment smell that makes me feel comfortable about this.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the one that was pretty much going through the transformation that you're saying that it needed to happen. But I know it was going on, so I threw it out.
Hey, better safe than sorry, though, right? You know,
Yeah.
because like I said,
Now, but totally understanding what I did and what caused that one to be moldy. I remember I told you one of the teas I put on heat, and the other one I didn't. The one I didn't put on heat, when I introduced it to the SCOBY, that's how that one got moldy.
Right. For those that don't know, what we're talking about is because me and I am a fermenter. Shaka is a brewer, and we both create this drink this June. We use different methods, so he had a question about that, and I'm answering the question. If for anybody that's interested in possibly learning to brew, whether you're in Cleveland or Columbus, or you want to learn to ferment, however you want to do it, we can show you both methods. So you get in touch with either one of us for those, because I mean this is a help drink. You know what I'm saying? And as many people as we got able to do it, I would love to be able to get people doing it. Like if you don't want to do it, you go and get it from us. You know what I'm saying? Let's go on and trade. Let's find something. You know, we just want to bring value to people's lives, because this is another one of those aspects of nation building. We got to get something that we produce. So the next step for us is moving towards, we already got young people learning the garden. Next thing is learning about beehives. You heard it here first. We're going to be producing honey soon. So, I mean, at least that's the goal.
Now, and also, if you are in Cleveland, there may be an opportunity for you to step into this industry with a commissioned opportunity. So I'm going to just leave that there for right now. If you want to inquire more, then call me and let me know.
So here we go. First, giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you choose to call that Creator. We lift up our glass proudly and we salute the potent center, that creative force. Once again, by the name that you choose, and we lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. From there, family, we move on to our list, and as I always tell, some of y'all that's new, when you are pouring libations, you start off with your ancestors first. So I got a certain list that I use, and I start off, but always, if you have your own list, your ancestors start first. So that's why you hear my list starting the way that it does. Miles Brown, Ms. Ann, Robin the Texana, Davis, Herman Brown Sr., Rosalie Tilly, George and William Walter, Christopher Fanny Gasson, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, I'm Fiend, Cleveland, Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallard, Montague Pittman L, Normal X, Pat Maya Rob, Malika Fakur, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusuf Weston, Elder Ajani, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Hector Jr., Jay Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Derek L. Pulling, the Luxter Brothers, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley C., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Triggs, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Natalie Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Renderman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Carolyn D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jeannie Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Weller, Vita Farmer, Agosa Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Theolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary, Elijah Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, May Esther Keechler Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mitchell Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavina Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Ophelia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kitty, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, Dave Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quells, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quells, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Dorita Johnson, Leon Johnson, excuse me, ladies, James W. West Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry Worrell, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Gray, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martineer, Elder Imhotep Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey Eleanor Howe, Frank Russell Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Peter Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carlos Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy. We had the Fridas Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scantleberry, Wilson Headley, Elma Hines, because if I'm correct, you said that they were just buried on Nia. Phyllis Lee, Eugene.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbert Longmire, Edith Catney.
Daddy, don't forget.
Do you see? Oh, I ain't gonna forget him. My daughter's holding up the, because we just put away my uncle. She's holding up his picture, say, don't forget him. I won't. He's coming up, baby. Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Edith Catney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pina Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Dorothy R. Blair, Florence Evans, Pamela Blair, Ransom Evans Sr., Sam Evans Sr., Joe Davis, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Nalon Blair Sr., Edward Stevens, Sue Ann Stevens, Gene Holmes, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Sensenball, Hazel Gatson, Jerry Brantley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaneko Parsons, Jason Cassidy, here you go, Sasha, Thomas Bradley, that's who that is, also known as Uncle Buki, and Reverend Roosevelt Word I, Stacy Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irving, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Boots Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson, Sr. Just checking some of the timeline. Excuse me real quick. Want to make sure I get it, just in case somebody else posts something up. Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Dorr, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Glebus, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boy Irby, Jim Gaucher, Georgia Haley Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, June Evans, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell, Aunt Becker, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harriet Tubman Cates, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino Baby Hatch, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Doretha Ross, Viola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Coper, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Francis, Pale Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford, Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Hairston, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams. Ladies, y'all want to go somewhere and eat?
Yes.
Why don't y'all go find some clothes? Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Albert Moore, Mitch Vanella, Albert Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Earlington Houston, Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Rome Alls, Henry West Staten, Joe Jamel Alls, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Bat Vaughn, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Ramey Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Baba Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Battles, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Irvin, Haroon Phillips, William Ford Jr., Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Irvin Sr., Michael Irvin, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rayshawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Edward R. Benson Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Lois Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus, Reginald Oliver, Linda Howard, Mazarine Colfer, George Swan, and Imani Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Michael and Charlene Morgan, Sybil Edward McNabb, Annie Ferguson, William Ferguson. We lift up our glass to all of our ancestors and we say, Ashe. From their family, we move on to the present moment. Those of you that's on the phone, you might want to cover your ears real quick because this is loud.
Damn, Rob, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
All right, family, we lift up our glass and we salute this moment because in this moment, all things are created. We accomplish all things only in the moment, right? We don't wake up in the past, nor do we wake up in the future. We wake up in the ever-present now, and it is in the now where we get busy. It is in the now where we change our life. It's in the now where we change the life for our people. In the now. So we salute this now because we're laying the foundation for others to stand upon. So we lift up our glass and we say Ashe. And if we handle our business, we can move to the future, and our children, our children's children, on to infinity will have a foundation to stand upon. So we toast them in advance, and we say Ashe. From their family, we move to all of our relations, and we salute each and every last one of our relations, and we say Ashe. From there, this is for my workers out there. This is for those that are struggling, that are in part of the process of my daily toasters. We lift up the glass, and we take a moment for ourselves. Because we call all this energy around us, we call the creator, we call the past, our ancestors, we call the future, we call all this energy, and it's in this room right now. What is it that you need? We lift up the glass, and I'll give you a second to talk about what you need. But this glass is heavy because this is a real glass. This ain't that light glass like Chaka be carrying around, you know. This is that real heavy glass. That goblet is like, we toast and we say, Ashe. From their family, we move on, and I toast the most powerful being in the room, the most beautiful, radiant, excellent being in the room, and you know who that is. That happens to be you. I lift my glass to you, and I say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Family, I wish you peace, power, joy, and 100 years. And unless y'all want to continue the conversation, we have toasted ancestors. I'm about to sip on some of this. And if y'all want to talk, we can talk. If not,
Hey.
What's going on?
So, I am and I don't know, I don't know, man, what's up with Anubis?
Oh, man, he pop up every now and then. I got to contact him. Check, make sure you're all right. But last time I spoke to him, he did a good work. He was working out and getting back. He was out of bed. He was feeling better. So, why was up?
No, my spidey sense was just tingling. And I thought I'd ask about, because the other thing is, what I was about to say is that feature, the split screen and invite people onto your live, I think that's an iOS thing.
Nah, that's like you could do that on Zoom. You can find that. We can find that. Actually, Google Hangouts has a nice one where I can have up to 9 people on the screen. It's just a matter of getting people to call in to
your Google number.
Not just Google number, but actually join the Hangout. So we don't have that many. We got more people listening on Facebook Live than anything right now. So I'm trying to build up the Spreaker numbers so those that want to, start your own podcast, or you can follow us on Spreaker at Spreaker.com. My fault. Spreaker.com/HA2TIM. Or you could go on and follow us on YouTube, either at HA2TIM or Gye-Nyame Journey. You know what I'm saying? Just look it up. Look up Gye-Nyame Journey. It will pop up on there. You know what I'm saying? Look up Daily Toast. It'll pop up on there. You know what I'm saying? Hashtag Daily Toast. We're going to pop up because I've been doing this long enough to show certain things that I have a nice little command of. So I learned how to use those hashtags because I had to. Those are weapons, man. People don't even understand. They be hashtagging and throwing up shit, and I be like, damn, do they really know what they doing with this hashtag? Because it be like, people just be, it'd be crazy. I be like, God damn, they really don't understand what they doing when they do the hashtag. They just be throwing a hashtag. Hashtag such and such, hashtag boom, boom, boom. And we're going to talk about that during Kwanzaa, because one of the education pieces that we need to really work on this year is learning how to use social media as the weapon that it is. Weaponize it. It's been weaponized against us, so we need to learn how to use this goddamn. It's a weapon. We need to learn how to use it. We need to learn how to get the messages out that we want people to hear and be serious about it. So, but if there's nothing else, family, me and my girls and Lil Cleve. Lil Cleve about to get on up. Haircut time. I got to go buy some bottles. I got to come back and make this tea. You know what I'm saying? We got to check the little garden. See if it got some good tomatoes in it left. And then I'm out, man. But yo, family, this is Brother Hatim. I need to remind you that you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Man and ladies, you are standing in the congregation of the mighty, and how sweet it is. And of course, this is a Heart of Simple production, and we have done and completed another Daily Toast. And we strove, and we continue to strive to blow up your old paradigms. Without Tim, I'm out. Peace, fam.